Hello everyone, what's going on? I'm Gav, the Mastermind74 back again today, and welcome to another Source Shorts video. What I'm going to do today is look into explosions and how you can change the particle of the explosions and how to replace the explosion effect with a particle system effect. So I need to give a big ups and thank you to Aqua Hoshino and the Antlion Guard for giving these suggestions. Two different suggestions, but they can be achieved via very similar methods. So as per usual, you just want to go into your game's solution and you want to go to the client project, go to source files, scroll down a little bit until you get to fxexplosion.cpp. And for the first part of this guide, it's just going to be about changing the effect. So up at the top here, you have the client effect material stuff of all of the different effects that the explosion use. Some of these aren't actually used, like if you try to find effects Firecloud 1, it's not defined anywhere in the explosion code, so it's actually never used. But effects Firecloud 2 is used a couple of times, and that's the effects I'm going to be replacing today. So what you need to do is add the client effect material, which should be right here, and then inside the speech marks you add in the material that you want to use. So I believe the material that I'm going to want to use is effects/energy core, and because this is the client, you don't need to add the .vmt or .vtf extension at the end. And what we're going to do is just go down to where we see effect Firecloud 2, excuse me, and we're going to replace it with, I think it's energy core, isn't it? I think that's the file that I'm interested in, or the material I'm interested in showing off. Don't misspell it like I do, because I'm just rushing, to be honest. I'm rushing this. That's not a good thing to do. So now with that replaced, let's build the solution. It should build with no issues because it's not like we're dealing with anything too crazy. So it's just simply changing the materials around. So it should build. And once it builds, you need to give me one moment to boot into the actual game, and then I can show you this in action. And let's load up, I don't know, DM Lockdown. Load into the good old classic map that I always like to play on for testing purposes. The FOV is going to look a little crappy, I apologise, but if we detonated the barrel, it is the wrong material. Oops. Oh well, but that shows you how you can do it. It shows up with the missing texture. Now you do still get like the black smoke and the fire embers. So that is something that is in a different piece of code in the explosion file, and you can change those effects if you really want to. But yeah, that is not very good of me to actually do this, and it ends up not working. I think it's energy ball, not energy core. Oh well, that's just failure to prepare to fail right there. Anyway, for part 2 of this tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to need to add in a file to the top of this this fxexplosion.cpp file, and the file we're going to include is particleparse.h. And what we can do is scroll down a little bit, because there is a function which creates the actual I think it's up here somewhere. It's somewhere, yeah, here. It's called create. So when the explosion effect is created, you can see it calls upon create core, which is the function we just modified. And then there's create debris, which creates like debris particles, and create misc just does nothing. So what we can do is essentially comment out something like create core. That means all of those particles and stuff isn't going to get drawn, but instead we can do dispatch particle effect. And so in this context, we're going to need a name, which I'm not going to provide. Let's just see what the error effect looks like. But if you do have a particle name, then that's what you'd input here. And it's not the name of the .pcf file. It's the name of the particle system that is contained within the .pcf file. So you just need to make sure you input that name correctly. Then we already know that we have an input called position. or m_vec origin. Either of those should be perfectly fine. And then a Q angle called angles. Well, we can just use a vec3 angle. And then the last part, we don't really need to worry about that. And then what this should do is, if we build this solution, is that instead of the fireball effect, it now calls upon a particle system instead. And it's going to be the error particle, because particle 123 isn't going to be found anywhere in the code. I can assure you of that. And it should be quite interesting to see how this explodes. So if we load up DM Lockdown again, boot into the map, Impulse 101, set the explosion on fire, set the barrel on fire so we see the explosion, and we get the nice, beautiful stock explosion with, the error particle. Oh shit, that's not good. So yeah, that's what happens instead. So yeah, that is how you can change the particle of the explosion to be a different material, or to be a particle system instead. I actually do need to apologize that I'm using error materials as like the basis for this. Usually I would just like have an actual material to use. But I think instead of energy core, it was supposed to be energy ball. And instead of 1, 2, 3 for the particle system name, you can use an actual effect. But that is all I really need to say for this video. That's how you'd go about doing it anyway. You can always let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, let me know what you think about this. And I've got nothing more to say. Have a great day. Take care there. Peace out. And I hope to see you for the next video, which is going to be the start of Dark Interval Part 2. It doesn't get off to a good start. Spoiler alert. But yeah, see you for that. Take care. See you later.